Does this look like deja vu all over again for the Patriots to you from back in the day right now, or what? What do you think?
Absolutely. And I was fortunate to cover Mac Jones at the Senior Bowl for ESPN, and he reminds me of Matt Ryan, Rich. He is a good, not great athlete. He has a good arm, not an elite arm, but he's smart. He throws with great accuracy and anticipation. And he's somebody that I think is a perfect fit for New England because play action and precision, the receivers have to be in certain spots, and he will get the ball in time. And I think he's someone that one of the things that Coach Belichick, Rich, always talks about is let the opponent lose the game before we ever have to win it. And that's something that he does very well. He will not beat himself. And I'm fascinated to watch these two games against Buffalo because if you and I were talking in a month, Rich, I wouldn't be surprised if New England won the division this year.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, they got the Titans too, Mike. Like they have the teams that they just need to beat right in front of them. And then they could just go into the playoffs with as high a seed as they possibly can get and roll with it. I just love that. So we always hear the do your job. He's like, let the other team lose it before you have to win it. That's a phrase that you've heard him say, huh?
Yeah, multiple times. That's one of his big tenets is like, and if we're going to lose, let's lose by our opponent beating us left-handed. We're going to take away what our opponent does great. We're going to double team their best player or whatever it is. And if we're going to lose, let's make our opponent beat us with their second or third best option.
Mm-hmm. So are you saying if Mac Jones, if the Jets took him second overall, he'd be injured watching Flacco right now as opposed to where he is? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're saying?
If you don't mind, if we can broaden this discussion somewhat geographically, I think the other interesting discussion is, what is Kyle Shanahan thinking today?
Okay.
Trey Lance compared to Mac Jones. Because
go for it. You have at that then. Go for it.
Right. Because, to me, Mac Jones may wind up being a better player than Trey Lance, and San Francisco traded up multiple first-round picks, and I was candidly surprised that they didn't take Mac Jones because I thought he would have been a perfect fit there. So while the Jets may have some, we'll see how it plays out. And look, again, it's early, but I think how Mac Jones is playing is not a fluke.
Oh, so let's go there. I kind of dig this, and I was just being facetious, obviously, about Mac Jones, but it is the nature versus nurture thing. Do you think had Mac Jones gone to San Francisco and they had not gotten Trey Lance, he would have forced the issue with Jimmy G? And what we're seeing in New England might have been, and again, they just flat out released Cam, but they wouldn't have done that with Jimmy G. But do you think that would have happened, given the opportunity that Mac would have gotten the snaps and we'd be seeing in San Francisco what we're seeing in New England with Mac Jones, do you think?
In my opinion, here's how I think it would have played out.
Please.
I think they would have released Jimmy G, and here's why. I think Mac Jones shows up. He wins them over from day one, and Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are going to go by what they see, and they would not have guaranteed Jimmy G's $24 million salary because as a vested vet, when he was on the roster on opening day, they owed him $24 million. And I think from, call it June 1st, Rich, after the draft to opening day, they would have had enough of a sample size to say, we're rolling with Mac Jones, and they would have tried to trade, but ultimately they would have cut Jimmy G to stay, in my opinion, to save that $24 million.
Yeah, how about that? Isn't that amazing if that's the case? It's amazing. Mac Jones is the real deal. It's just shown that. Last one for you. Who's the first overall pick in next year's draft? How does that shaping up right now as the college football season winds down? What do you got for me on that?
Rich, that's a simple question, a complicated answer. I mean, the best player to me is probably Kayvon Thibodeau from your neck of the woods, L.A., and plays in Oregon, and he, to me, is a similar version to Chase Young. I just don't think there's a quarterback that's in that conversation right now. So Thibodeau's up there. Derek Stingley, the corner from LSU, will probably be a top 5 pick as well.
Okay. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.